Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Prologue. Like in a book or a play, there is a prologue and epilogue. The prologue speaks about the backstory of the events that happen in the main section of the play or the book. Same way, today we are going to go into the prologue of a gentleman whom I know very well, Mr. Philippe Mairlot of Magemar. Magemar is present in 5 countries in Europe and also in China. He also holds an important position as a member of the board of the Chinese Belgium Chamber of Commerce. So, without much ado, Mr. Philippe Mairlot, why don't you introduce yourself and give us more insights about yourself?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the nice introduction, and then good morning, everybody. It's really my pleasure to be able to share some of my experience with you, and effectively, I can tell you a little bit more about myself and the group. I'm leading with my brother, so we are two brothers, and our company is essentially, effectively, in the logistics and transport, with international focus, of course. And the group is existing. We are the third generation. So the group was created by my grandfather back in 1938. So that's a long time. At that moment in the family, we were really busy with import of coal. So we were in the trading activity at that moment, but the trading needed some logistics, of course, to transport because it was quite a good volume. And then that's how the company of transport and logistics has started in Belgium. So I'm located in Belgium. This is the headquarters of the group is located in Belgium. And then effectively through the time we have opened the office mainly in Europe because we are, of course, originally from Europe. So Belgium, we had Germany, France, Italy, Poland. We are really having a good development in Poland back in 1991, and then other places, and then finally in China. We have opened also an office in China.
Superb, superb. So, generally, what happens, Philip, is when you come from a family of entrepreneurs, the kids want to break free and want to do something on their own, carve a niche for themselves. But at what stage did you decide, no, I'm going to take the family tradition, family business ahead and take it to another level?
Well, it's true that my father, he's always said, you can make your own choice. So you can decide what you want to do. Of course, there's the possibility to come into the family business if you wish, but it's not an obligation. His father was a little bit more straightforward, and he said, "You have to come in the business." So my father didn't have so much choice. Then he decided for my son, I will tell them they can do whatever they want. But of course, the business was there in the family. It was quite interesting. So my brother, he has 2 years more than me. So he started first, and then I joined him. And we have a little bit divided the activity. He's doing one part of the group business. I'm doing the other part. But I found, okay, I made some study in the economics. I went to university to study economics because it really opens doors to a lot of activity, and I was interested in that. And I saw my father working in this field of activity, and then I was really interested. I'd say, why not trying to do that and to develop? And then finally, I really enjoyed it very much, and that's how I'm still there after quite some time. Yes.
So, though you have come from, you have seen the ups and downs. Being in business, business is not always straight. Sometimes there are economic conditions, global economic conditions, which force you to take rather drastic decisions, like we are facing one right now, something like that. So, during the time that you took over, what are the challenges or the biggest challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome that?
Yes, we have, of course, through the years, we had a lot of different challenges and sometimes very important, very essential challenges that we have to face and that we had to take some decision. For instance, so in the group, we have two main activity. One is for the road and train activity in Europe. We have quite a big fleet of trucks in Europe. Now we have a fleet, but in the past we were only in between people, so we were forwarders for the trucking. But at one stage we found out that the big customers, they really want to work only with companies who have assets. and they said we don't want to have in between people. We want to have people, and especially in the road activity, it was very important. So we have changed completely the structure of the company, and we have started to have a fleet of trucks and to really develop our activity all through Europe. And this helped us to gain big customers, big traffics. Nowadays, well, we have 650 people in the trucking activity, and it's running well. But it was really necessary to invest in that, and that was certainly a success. In the shipping activity, we also had to face some problem because in the past we were importing a lot of raw material to Europe, and especially from India. A lot of raw material from India. The stone, we have been leader in the import of stone in break bulk, quite good volume. But after year, we could see, because we have started this activity in maybe the early 90s. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's 35 years that we are in this activity, but we have seen a lot of changes because Europe was more and more in the back for transforming the raw material into half finished products or finished products. So we also have to change it to say, okay, Europe is not so much competitive to change the raw material. The raw material is going to other places. So we have also to adapt. And that's how after 1988, when we have seen the big changes with the opening of the eastern countries in Europe, we have
Right.
opened an office also in Poland. And today, our office in Poland has become really a very big hub for development. And then China, of course, China is also a huge place for transforming. Everybody says that it is still the big factory of the world.
Oh
That's
yeah.
where we say, okay, we have to be there, because if we only stay in Belgium and waiting and to see the raw material going down, it won't be successful enough. So effectively, we had to take some strong decision, looking at what was going on in different industries, and also if we wanted to grow enough, we understood we had to invest as well. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow, that was something great. But now I'll come to a little personal question, of course, related to business. You you said like you went into getting acquiring assets and as becoming from a less asset based company to more assets like trucking, trucks, and drivers. Obviously, everything that comes with it. So, and obviously there was a transition from your father to taking over the business. Now you come with a younger mindset or a new generational mindset, and your father probably had a traditional mindset before his father before him, that is your grandfather. Did you ever have face a situation where you had to put your foot down and say, no, I want to implement this because I see this as a future, have a tussle with your hierarchy at that point? Something humorous, can you share with us?
You mean in comparison to our father, or the discussion with our father?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
yes. I
Is
mean,
it?
difference of mindset, because old
Yeah.
timer, new timer kind of mindset. Running the business management style, I can say.
Well, it has to be said that my father was born in 1921. That was completely a different time,
Yeah.
and the way of doing business when my father was in the business until 1988, doing business was completely different. It was really much more, and I regret it a little bit, on the relationship, on having dinner, on having good time together, on sharing profit, and for my father, doing business was completely different than what we see today.
Hmm.
So effectively, my father, he stopped doing business in 1988, but then he was completely trusting us, and he said to my brother and myself, "I know that you have been to university, you have learned a lot of new way of doing business, you have new ideas, you have new uh, development that you want to do, and so I will trust you. And if you make mistakes, I will be there to support you. So you can take some risks as well, not too much, of course, but of course, no, he was really supportive. And of course, you have to understand that generation after generation, new things arrive, new mentality, new way of doing business. And but I liked really the way my father was doing business. It was completely different. I think more peaceful and less stressful at his time. But then he trusted completely ourselves to do it the way we wanted to do.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, that is something I don't really hear very often. where you get along well without any skirmishes or clashes. Now, you did mention about adapting with
Yes.
with the new technology coming in, with AI coming in, a lot of competition, AI taking up, doing a lot of heavy lifting. How do you keep yourself updated with the new technology, and how do you adapt it to such a huge business that you have? I say huge because you are in multinationals, different nationalities, different ethnicities, and different cultures, and you have to make sure that everybody takes over this new technology that you're going to adapt. How do you keep yourselves in line with that?
Of course, we have an IT team, and they are really always looking to improve the tools that the people are using to make them more effective, to make them more updated all the time. And it's sure that AI is coming in every business. We are certainly not perfect, but we effectively try to adapt, and we are trying to implement new technologies in the business. Of course, you also have to uh, take uh, take care of the people that because they don't always are ready to change completely their way of doing business, as you know. So
Right.
you have to do it step by step and not change everything from one day to another. But you can't avoid to effectively going in the direction of implementing AI, and we see AI everywhere. It's going so fast that we have to adapt, and it's important. But we are doing it not. We don't make revolution every year. We try to adapt slowly and to make things are working not too bad so far. So we are, of course, we have to stay updated, but we don't make a revolution every year.
That is mind blowing. I would love to keep talking, but for the sake of time, I want to you to have the last word. And I promised you 15 minutes. Thank you giving me that time during your busy work schedule. But if you were to give an advice to a budding entrepreneur or a second or third generation entrepreneur who wants to take over the business, what would be that one thing or one book or one phrase that you would refer to or you would give as an advice to such budding individuals?
I think being successful in business is all about people. I think that is the more important thing is about people. It's really very, very important to be uh, with a team that you can trust, that people are really trusting you as well. You really have to create a very good relationship. You have to find the skilled people. Sometimes we take really long time to find the skilled people who for the right position, but that is the key for me. It's people. So that's the most important thing. You may have the best idea, you may have enough money to develop your business. If you don't have the right people around you, it won't work. So effectively, my best advice would be find the best people, and then of course you have to create a spirit in the company. You have to be respectful to the people, and the people have to be respectful to you and to their colleague. That is absolutely essential to me. Yes. So
Super.
that would be my best advice.
Wow, wow. I mean, I've heard different kinds of responses, but this is probably the best response I've heard. Invest in people. All right,
Yes.
Philip. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I know how busy
It was
you
my
are.
pleasure.
Okay.
No
So,
problem.
all right. So that was Philippe Mairlot of Magemar on Prologue. Prologue is an award-winning network, your next-gen logistics network. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.